marketing is almost always the problem, right? Is if your business is stuck, it's a marketing problem.
Program Express 2918 says, how do graphic designers get jobs?
Agencies, stuff like that, they're normally looking for a very specific type of designer that can do something very specific. So if your portfolio doesn't match what they're looking for, they're probably never going to bring you in, because it's like an unwritten understanding in our industry that...
Hey Gummy, welcome back.
How are you?
I'm well. Welcome to another lovely episode of Started or Scrap It.
Wait.
Wait, what do you got? What do you got?
Thanks to our future sponsor, available both in diet and light.
Yes, we are pushing very hard for Arizona Tea to become our sponsor.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be full Arizona tea. I just want this Arnold Palmer
specifically.
Specifically,
yes. Okay.
Yes.
And what we'll do is, because you go to the golf course so often,
yes,
we'll take the inventory from them and we'll give it out to all the players at the golf course.
Yes.
And
I play in a ton of golf outings. Like I could bring a case of these in diet or light.
Exactly. We will make it happen. You play at least once a week now, don't you?
As soon as I became a wussy once I got older.
Yeah.
So now I don't go out unless it's 50 degrees or more.
Okay.
It's just like
too cold.
When your hands get cold and like
you're
hitting
when you get older.
I know.
So, I wouldn't know. I'm still young, a young pup.
So I have a rule now. If I can't take the convertible with the top down, I'm not going.
Yes, I like that. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
not a bad one. So news. We are my companies. We're looking for a new office space. We may have found it too. But we're looking for new office space.
That's always a fun one.
It is, and it got me thinking that when people are starting their businesses, when I've had the question before, when's a good time to start looking? Like, at what point do you say I need to get out of my basement or my dining room, whatever, and start actually going into the world to find actual space? And that will obviously vary based off of what type of business you are, right? But it also comes into play. It's like if you own a product, well, then you need inventory room also, like warehouse space, et cetera, right?
Like a lot of businesses start where the office is in the basement and inventory is in the garage, right?
Yeah. And the UPS man comes and picks up the inventory to ship it out every day. Yeah. I know. We've all been there. So I was thinking about that. I was like, it's certainly if you get employees, if you have to get employees right away, you kind of need an office space. You can work out of your house with employees. I've seen people do that, but
it depends on whether like it's remote positions or but
the thing that I found to be the biggest factor, and I've done this myself. If you have people that are coming to your office or coming to your business and your office is in your house, that's a lot of times a turnoff. It really is.
It's like having an AOL email address.
Yeah. Or CompuServe or something like that. I've actually done that where when I first started my law practice, I was just working out of my house because it was just me and everything was pretty much remote. And then I did have a client that wanted to meet in person. And I didn't want to do the Starbucks thing because that felt kind of weird. So I said, look, I work out of my house. You're welcome to come over. And they did. And it was just a weird vibe and it just never worked out. So I would say, at least for a service-based business, once you have clients that are or customers that are going to be coming to your shop, that's probably when you want to start looking for office space. I would say for the first 2 years, I didn't need it. And then after I started getting clients that were like, look, we want to meet in person. Then I was like, all right, I need a space. I need somewhere to go.
So when I first started, I actually rented. I didn't even rent it. So we were a white label producer for another marketing company. So we developed all their websites and all that stuff. And as part of that, they actually gave me like my private office inside their firm. So like I had an office there that I could go to. But other than that, I had converted the front porch of my house to an office, right? So I had signage, whole 9 yards.
Really?
Like, oh yeah.
Township let you do that with signage.
Oh, so I read the rules.
Of course.
I'm a big fan of reading the rules because then you can play. So there was a rule against signage on private property. But there is a rule that says you can have window coverings in a private home. So what I did was I went to a sign company and had them, I measured all my windows. So they were like double hung. So I measured the top of every window, and then I had them made a sign that I could put in the windows.
Oh, neat.
In the top part of every window.
So it wasn't a permanent sign. It was
correct.
Just, okay, it was floating.
It was considered a window shade, right? So
that's great.
And there are no rules what is on a window shade.
All right.
So I just called them my blackout curtains.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, there was a huge difference. Like when I then got in and had an office there, it was only like, I don't know, call it 5 minutes from my house. But anytime I would leave my house to go work there, I felt like I was a little more productive. Like I had the ability to have conversations with other people. There was a lot of these like social and like ideas and things you talk about that when you're working at home is really hard to do, even over like back then it was primarily Skype, right? Right. Yeah. It's not the same feeling, right? And I had an employee at the time, but she was a sales rep, so she was like on the road all the time. But she actually had a desk on my front porch. She could come in. Well, I had a...
How was that? How'd that feel, having an employee in your home?
So it was different because it didn't feel like it was in my home.
Because it was separated.
It had a private entrance. She could come and go as she pleased. Like the only thing is she needed to use my fridge if she brought a lunch.
Or bathroom.
Which she never did. Or she had to use my bathroom. So like it wasn't even really like I never felt like she was in my house, so to speak, because we always, when she was there, we just sat on the front porch. We never went inside the house. But yeah, then a couple of years later, I ended up buying another business. And that was the first time I actually had a physical location. But that was because we had inventory, we had large print equipment. Like there was no option other than to have a location. Then the weird thing happened, right?
Well, that wasn't weird, huh?
No, that wasn't weird. So we moved out of that building because it was horrendous, right? So we moved into a building that was much better, all on the same floor, all that stuff. Then we sold some of the equipment, and then COVID hit. And a big chunk of that business went away.
Right.
So now I was stuck, had 4.5 years left on my lease.
Oof.
6,000 square feet. And we went from a 20-man business to a 6-man business overnight.
Oh.
Right. So basically every employee had 1,000 square feet to do whatever they wanted with. But I can tell you the moment we set up that second location or that we moved, it was to a much nicer building. It was street level on a major highway. I set up a conference room, bought like a gray table, red chairs. Like it was a totally different feel. The conversations I had with people that I met with, right, that I previously had gone to like a Starbucks or whatever, when they came into the office and sat at my conference table that was all branded, like a Red Knight statue in the middle, TV that we could project on, it increased the level, the professional perception level.
Without question,
right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, the conversations I was having, I no longer had to convince people that we were like a legit company because people just walked in and when the receptionist said, "Hey, welcome, here's the conference room. Would you like some coffee, something to drink, whatever?" And then I would walk in and meet them in the conference room. Like the level of perception from the customer was totally different than scouting around a Starbucks trying to find the person.
Right, exactly.
Right? So,
hi.
Right. So that's the perspective on having an office versus meeting someone at home.
Yeah.
Right. I also think it changes how you work once you go to an office.
Oh, that's without question.
Right. Like whether it's an office that has a conference room or just an office, even like I talked to a guy that was a landscaper and he always operated out of his house, right? He had his lawn mowing equipment in the garage in the wintertime. That's where he would fix it. And then he just grew a little bit and no longer had the room. So he went and got like, it was almost like a old car shop that had shut down. So he had like 2 bays and an office area and stuff. And I always remember like it had been like a couple of months since he moved, right? And I went to see him because he had been a client for years. And he goes, "I feel like a business now." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I don't know. I just feel like I need to do more business things. And I'm like, well, you're growing. And he's like, yeah, but like coming to an office and having employees. And he's like, it's totally a different vibe than when the guys were showing up at my house to grab the equipment and leave. He's like, just the whole feeling is different. And it was funny because over the next year, he drastically increased his business. And I think it was like a mentality shift that just happened by getting an actual like location and office.
It makes it real. It does. It makes it real.
Yeah.
It makes it seem different. So if you're again, this is just my opinion. If I'm working out of my house, I just feel like I'm just doing work. I don't feel like I'm running a business. It's like, but when you go into your own office and your own setup, and it's your brand name there and everything like that, it really does. It generates something inside of you. It turns some switch on.
I think it's almost like pride.
That's kind of it. Yeah, right? That's definitely a part of it. No question. And I just feel like, I'll tell you one thing that happened with me. Once I got my own office space, I was able to increase my prices. Because if clients came, even if I did Zoom and I was at home, it just had that tinge of, this isn't someone like, the big downtown guys that we pay $500 an hour to or something like that. This is a guy who should be making $150 an hour or something,
He's working out of his house.
Yeah, he's working out of his house. What expenses does he have?
I see the kitchen in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like
dog walking around or whatever, right? But once I moved to an office space, suddenly it became, like you said, more professional.
Yeah.
What does more professional mean? More professional means higher fees.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
We actually looked at it, and we can talk about this as you go into like picking a location. But before we bought that other business, we were looking at, there's this company around here that basically has like where you can rent just an office suite within a larger.
Yeah, I love those.
And then you get an address and all that stuff, and then they have a shared conference room. Well, at the time, they were also offering packages where you only had access to the conference rooms. So you didn't have a private office, but they had like 4 locations. They were like King of Prussia, Conshohocken, whatever.
So you have your clients meet you there.
You could have your clients meet, and the receptionist knew you were coming, knew you're like, so if you were running late, the receptionist would still welcome them, put them into the conference room. Like, I'm like, that's a nifty idea. Cause like,
there are companies like Regus or EGUS. They do that. There's there's a bunch of them out there. Lucid's another company that not the car company, but
I get it.
They do that. Yeah, we actually set some of my clients that are new to the industry or whatever business they're in. We will set them up in something like that now, where we'll set them up with like a Regus address or something, and they can go and they can use the office and etc.
And another thing that I came to realize over the last couple of years, primarily because of the Google My Business stuff, is because if you have a physical office, your Google My Business listing is location based.
Right.
So that is now one of the things you have to take into consideration is like, in what area do I want my business listing to compete?
Because people have shown up at my house before. When my house was the location,
right?
They've shown up like unannounced. Because you figure it's a business. I can just walk in.
Yeah,
like anyone can just walk in my law practice now, and we'll talk with them.
Correct.
But when it's your house, it's a little bit different. Dog barking in the background and stuff. It's a little different.
So like right now, for example, we're looking at setting up a second. So we have a year left on the lease that we're in for our secondary office. We're looking at getting a second office, meaning we'll still have 2 locations, but they'll both be a much smaller footprint, right? So we are literally looking based on the fact, where do we want to show up on Google business profiles? So we are probably not going to pick our next location just based on convenience or the space.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But also where the address is centrally located.
Oh, interesting.
Because like if I'm only getting, let's say I'm getting a small office, like 300 square feet, 400 square feet. It's basically just a front where I can put a desk and a conference room and meet people, right? That address now matters a lot because whether I'm at the northern part of town or southern part of town, makes a huge difference how my profile shows up. And it was interesting because there's another company around here that does similar things that we do.
Yeah.
they actually, rather than getting one large location where they could fit everybody, they've split it into 3 different addresses. So now they have 3 different business profiles, and there are certain areas that if you search for their service in their area, all 3 listings is them.
Wow.
So
that's really cool.
They're 1, 2, and 3.
Because it crosses over all of them.
Correct.
That's neat.
It's the center point between the offices, and they're
this is the kind of
optimized.
stuff most people don't think of. Most
Correct.
people wouldn't think about this.
And I just thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, what about inventory space? Like, let's say you sell widgets. I'm gonna make it up, widgets, right? And you got 10,000 of them, and you're trying to sell them. What would you recommend? Because I've never really been in the product business. Would you recommend separate warehouse space from your office space?
It all depends, right? Like that's a big if. So I'll give you us as an example, because we used to ship and deliver items that weighed between 30 and 60 pounds.
Sure.
Right. So the first thing we looked at was, how do we receive the product? Right. And we received it on skids. So we wanted to minimize the amount of carrying we had to do. So one of the conditions for us was that you had to be able to unload a truck with skids and get it right into our warehouse. And we actually did not get warehouse space. We got an office space. And all we needed were like double glass doors.
Yep.
And then we were able to wheel everything in, like as long as there was no steps.
And where'd you store them? Is it an office somewhere?
Yeah. So it was an old training center. Okay. So we literally just gutted it, took the carpets off, and turned that into like a miniature warehouse.
Oh, there you go.
And we were storing anywhere from, call it 12 to 14 skids at a time.
Okay.
We were getting shipments like every week, right? So that was actually...
Did you need a forklift at that point?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
So the delivery company, because we would get it in whole skids, but then we would pull inventory as needed from the skids. So
you wouldn't stack?
No, because it already came stacked.
Gotcha. Okay.
On the skids, and you can only certain things you can only stack. So like
it's two.
You're not taking a 60-pound box manually, at 8 foot.
Right.
So we were limited by how high we could stack it based on what you could carry, right, or lift.
Yeah.
So for us, that was then attached to the rest of our office space. So it worked great for us. We actually looked at it at one point of just getting like a garage where the trucks could just back in and literally like unload, which would have been considerably cheaper, right? Because that's one thing you have to take into account. Like office space can cost, or used to, now warehouse space is at a premium.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding.
Like you used to be able to pay like a third for warehouse space versus office space. So cost is a big factor, right? So it, once again, depends on how much you're bringing in, how quickly, how are you shipping it?
Yep.
Like how quick is your turnaround? And then what are the pros and cons of separating your office space from your warehouse space, right? Because anytime you have people at 2 locations, it's like 2 separate workplaces, even though it's the same, right? So there's all these things that you have to evaluate in that process.
Yeah.
If you don't see clients, you don't need office space per se. You can literally get a warehouse
and do everything out of the
and
warehouse.
have an office framed.
There's usually an office in the warehouse somewhere, right?
Yeah. But yeah, it's so individualized based on businesses and what you're selling and like how you deliver your product. Like, is it all shipped out? Does UPS just show up? Or like, do you have a delivery guy that delivers?
Yeah.
Are you serving a local market? Perfect example is our friend Mike Bound.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So like his family owns one of the a soda delivery company.
Yep.
So they look at it logistically from where does the warehouse fit where we can minimize miles driven, right? Because that's another, if you're delivering products every day, you may want to, you may say, okay, I can get a cheap warehouse space, but it adds a 20-minute drive for the driver every day and X number of miles. Well, if you can drive that much less, does that offset the cost of getting closer to your market? And so there's all these things that people should be taking into account. And a lot of times I feel like they don't.
They just know to.
Right. They just go, oh, look, I found this awesome warehouse space. And you're like, yeah, but it's in the middle of nowhere.
It looks so nice, you know, and the rent's cheap. And
but
yes, but what about the ancillary costs that you're not considering? Right. No, absolutely. And and I guess we'll wrap this up pretty quickly, but one of the keys is, or one of the things to consider is, after you've decided, yes, I need office space, is what you were just saying, is where, where to get that space. And, again, a lot, it depends on what you're doing. If you're doing something that requires foot traffic, for example, let's say it's not retail, but it still requires foot traffic, like some type of, counseling service or something like that, whatever, I don't know. Then obviously you're going to want to be in a place where there's, people that walk around. You don't want to be in a place that's only accessible by car.
Yep.
So, and no matter what the rent is,
like we have one rule that's unbreakable for us, that we have to have on-site parking.
Yeah.
You have to be able to pull into our parking lot, park, and walk into my office.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so I would never get an office like downtown where someone has to go to a parking garage and like, doesn't work for us. But other than that, as long as our equipment fits in the doors, that's pretty much the only requirement we have. And we have to be somewhere that's easily accessible, because we have people that pick up stuff from our office all the time.
Yeah.
So like we looked at an office space when we just moved back in like a year ago. And we looked at office space, but it was kind of like out of the way. Like it was inconvenient to get to it. And we opted for the smaller space that was easier to get to, and kind of squeezed everything into a smaller space and made it inconvenient for us to make it convenient for the customer.
Which is what you should do. That's absolutely right.
Right? Like,
so, all right. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I started this off with, when do you think is the right time? Again, it's going to vary by person, but I guess it's, look at you as the business owner, look at yourself and just say, have I outgrown where I am right now? Really, it's really what it comes down to. Do you feel like you need that private area for your business completely on its own, like where people can come? Do people come? Do you need employees? Do they need their own workspace? And once you start feeling like, okay, yeah, things are changing, I need my own spot now.
Yeah. So, do you know what the largest company in the world is that doesn't have any office space?
Uber?
No, they have office space.
Do they have office space?
Yeah.
Okay. Who?
Shopify.
Shopify has no office space?
Shopify has no office space.
Wow.
If I remember correctly. They have a couple of conference rooms and stuff that they rent where people can gather.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shopify does not have an office building anywhere.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Even the CEO works from home.
That's crazy. It's not me. It's not me.
No, I get it, right? But that's a technology business. You don't really, but they do these meetings where they bring people together because they still want people to work as a team.
Of course.
And it's way different in person.
So they'll just rent office, they'll rent conference rooms and whatnot. That's pretty cool.
Pretty nifty.
All right. So let's get over to Reddit, shall we? Let's see what Reddit has to say today.
That's what we do, right?
Is that what we do?
Yeah. Thanks to our soon-to-be sponsor.
Oh my God. Yeah, sure. Thank you, Arnold Palmer.
I am going to get to them. One day we are going to get a phone call or an email.
You're just going to send them like a video, all the video clips of us pitching them.
Every episode, I think I've had one of these. So
the funny thing is,
eventually,
if and when this works, this will be like a perfect study for all the people we're talking to about marketing and stuff like that.
Because think about it, like if they would call me right now and send, we'll send you, how many episodes do you record a year, right? And we're like, I don't know, 50 or 60 episodes. And they would be like, okay, we'll send you 2 cans for every episode. The grand sponsor total would be like $140.
It's 140 more than we're making now.
Correct. And it would be like, you would be on this show every week because I would pull this out every week.
I mean, what is it about the Arnold Palmer drink that you enjoy so much?
So, believe it or not, I used to drink like Coke Zero and Diet Coke.
Okay.
And I was knocking down 4 or 5 of those bad boys like every day.
Okay.
Right? Like I was drinking a ton of it to the point where I started getting sick.
Oh.
Right. And I thought I was like, oh, I have acid reflux. And I went and saw this lady and she's like, no, you probably can't handle the sweetener that they use. So I had
like
to
saccharin or something like that?
I don't know what, but she basically said it was the artificial sweeteners in that, right? Which didn't help with the bubbles in the drink. She's like, find something that has less sweetener in it or a different sweetener and isn't carbonated. And someone handed me one of these, actually one of these, at a golf outing.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And
it just cracks me up.
And I tried it and I was like, this is good. Like this could totally replace my Coke drinking, because like I drink a ton of water throughout the day and a lot of coffee, and every once in a while I just want something sweet.
Yeah.
And it's
got the caffeine too, right? Was it tea?
Yeah.
It's got it. Tea in it. It's got to have caffeine.
I hope so. But yeah, I ended up, and then I saw these cans and they're like a perfect size. So now I buy this by the case, and then I have a little cooler in my car, and they're literally just stacked in the cooler in my car, so I can go grab it when I...
Is the real reason because you think if you drink Arnold Palmer, you'll play like Arnold Palmer?
I wish. But yeah, no, so that was really...
That's pretty cool. No, all right. So, I don't know, Arizona Tea, if you're listening, contact Gummy and I don't know. We'd be more than ecstatic. All right, so moving over to the actual things today. What?
I can stack them all right here.
Oh my God! Yes. If and when.
We're gonna get the guy that edits these videos to
Ethan.
Ethan. We're gonna get him to pull a video that's just a compilation.
That's what I said. We're gonna put together all the clips of you and with Arizona Tea, and just send it over to them.
Let's see how long it is.
It's like let's see how long it takes them to respond.
It's like a 14-minute video on
probably is. Before we keep going, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already.
Oh, and the like button. The like button's our friend.
The like button is our friend. Yes, we do like the like button. So please hit that too.
And thanks for the support. Let's keep it moving.
All right.
Okay.
Reddit.
Yes.
Reddit.
That's what we're doing.
Reddit. All right. We're in entrepreneurship today. And we have some pretty good ones here. So let's see. Program Express 2918 says, how do graphic designers get jobs? I don't get it. I can't land a job. Only things I land are small paid gigs for freelance clients.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everyone. I've tried tailoring my resume, my cover letter, even my portfolio. I thoroughly look at the company and what they do and feel excited to work there, then go into lengths and breadths to make sure I send them something worth their time. Crickets.
Mm-hmm.
I've asked my fellow creatives how to land a job, and no one wants to tell because of competition. I'm not sure if that's the case, but they probably just don't know. I just don't know if I'll ever get anything at this point. And no, it's not the job market. I see people being hired every single day. What is it I need to do to get a job? Sell my soul? Someone hire me already. I can do the work, but nobody gives me a chance. This is your world, my friend.
This is my world.
This used to be my world, not anymore. Go ahead.
So, I don't think we have hired a graphic designer in the last 5 years without first using them as a freelancer.
To see if they're any good.
Correct. Right. Because it minimizes, and with how many freelancers there's out there in the graphic design world,
okay,
it is way cheaper for us to freelance them for 6 to 8 gigs.
Mm-hmm.
It lets us see how they are to work with, how they communicate.
I was just going to say, so let's break down what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Wait, so break down the individual pieces of what you're looking for. You said, okay, you said how they communicate.
How they communicate.
So explain that.
So communicating from someone using words that translate to a visual.
It sounds funny, but it's true.
Not everybody's good at it, right? Like, so if I call a graphic designer and I go, this design just needs a little more oomph, right? Or it needs a little more wow. I can't translate oomph or wow to you.
I hate when people say that.
Correct, right? But that is what graphic designers do, right? Because it's the same thing with programmers, right? You have to translate from the average human being to what they really mean. And some designers just have it and some don't. Like we can send something to someone and say, hey, we need a different version of this. It just needs more pop. And we get it back and we're like, they nailed it, right? And then we send it to someone else and they send us something back and we go, what the hell is this, right? So that's one way we test before we hire graphic designers is we literally bounce back freelance project to them to see how they are to work with. Communication.
Okay. What's next?
How they translate words. Next is the quality that they deliver.
Okay. What are you looking for there?
We're looking for, do we have to go and fix their files? Do they understand what they're delivering to us, how they're delivering it? Like, what do they like to work in? What don't they like to work in? Where are their strengths? Where are their weaknesses? That's a big one for us because someone can be really, really, really good at packaging and flyer design and absolutely horrendous with
web design or something,
logos or flyer design, right? Because they sound like they should be the same, but they're not, right? So then we look at, do we have enough of this type of work to even justify hiring for a position that is really good at only this?
Right.
And then once we establish what the designer is good at, we throw them a couple of other projects to see, are they just as good as doing digital graphics as they are doing brochures or business cards? And a lot of times we find out that their strength is really limited to certain things. Like most designers that I know that are phenomenal at logo design are really bad at flyers.
Really?
It's a weird.
I can see that.
Right?
I used to see the trend where the print material designers, it was originally the print material designers were trying to design websites.
Yeah,
and it was terrible.
It's terrible.
But no one knew because that's all that was doing it. And then once people started realizing that the web design was completely independent from print design, you started seeing web designers come around and they were really good at making the web because it's all UI and such.
Correct.
And then the two of them they never came back.
Yeah.
You very rarely see someone that can do both.
That can do both well.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They can do both well. Yeah.
It's incredibly rare. So yeah, and most companies that I know kind of do it in a similar way where they try to find local freelancers, give them a few projects, see how they do before they even offer them a job. Even if they're advertising for the job, I don't really know other than the big conglomerates like J&J and all those. Yes, they will hire someone without doing it, but if you're looking at like agencies, stuff like that, they're normally looking for a very specific type of designer that can do something very specific. So if your portfolio doesn't match what they're looking for, they're probably never going to bring you in because it's like an unwritten understanding in our industry that you're really good within a limited skill set of the graphic design world.
Yeah. And
so,
all right. Anything else that you look for in particular?
Attitude.
Okay.
That's
what kind of attitude are you looking for? Now this changes by company, of course, but
correct. So we look for one of the designers that I hired, we sent him a project and he sent us something back and it was good enough. Right. And then, without being asked the next day, he's like, hey, I did a different version just because I wanted to show you what else was available.
See that?
Right.
I like that.
He sent his version and we were like, his version is way better than what we asked for.
Yeah.
Right. So we paid him for the second version because I'm a believer in if you do the work, you get paid for it. And our deliverable, we took it to the client. No modifications needed to the design, was accepted as is. Right. So we found out that with him, for example, the less information we gave him about the project, the better output we got from him.
Sure.
The more we tried to tell him what we wanted, the worse it became.
Let the creative be creative.
Correct. And then we had another freelancer that we had, and we literally had to spoon feed him everything. Right. So one was definitely in, the other one was out. And we felt like the second guy that he wasn't really even trying, right? Like it was just a job.
Mm.
And for the first one, it was more of a, like, this is what I love doing. And so that's what I mean by attitude is like, are you doing it just because it's a job and you enjoy it? Or are you doing it because like it's a passion, like you want to make cool things?
Yeah.
Like my brother-in-law is a graphic designer. He started in the print world. And then I ended up hiring him when they let him go. Some issues. So I hired him, and he was horrendous for me, right? Like, because I needed him to do a completely different type of design. Took me like 4 months to get him to a point where he started enjoying doing graphic design again.
Wow.
Because his previous job with a printing press was a lot of just like layout and correct.
Yeah, they beat the hell out
so
of
it took me
Yep.
4 months to get his like creative juices flowing again. And like, it was rough. Even my wife will tell you that like it was rough, right? But then when he finally found that spark again that he had in his original portfolio when he graduated, all of a sudden he started doing much better work. And I'm like, this is how you should approach every project, right? And then a few months later, he ended up getting a job with another friend of ours. And it was all good.
Yeah.
Like I knew it was a temporary hire. But he ended up taking a job with a company that designs the inside of supermarkets.
Oh, cool.
So, you know, when you walk in and you see like fish and meat and bread and all that. So they design and manufacture everything for inside of supermarkets. And he's done some really cool stuff.
That's pretty neat.
Like if you ever see, if you look up photos of DMX's funeral,
Yeah.
he designed all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
The decals on the casket, his like everything.
That's sad and cool at the same time.
I know. Like
that was a sad loss.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at some of these comments here. So this guy says, in the AI era, this field has become a side hobby. What do you think about that?
So it's not that it's a side hobby, but it's the fact that the requirements needed for a graphic designer have dwindled, right? So I'll give you an example. Once again, someone you know, it started as a joke that we were like, I hated his logo. And he was like, I don't really like my logo either. He's like, I did it in one of those freebie things.
Yeah.
So I literally started using AI to come up with different logo concepts. And we finally found a design. He's like, I think this is the direction we're going, right? So now it had taken me using AI 30 minutes to get to the right direction and get close to a logo that he liked.
Okay.
Previously, that could have been 5 hours of graphic design
Sure.
time, right? Or a full day of graphic design time. Same thing when it came to website layout, website ideas. We're able to use AI to generate a lot of the base ideas, and then we just need a graphic designer to fine tune them.
Gotcha.
So yes, it's still not a.
It's a tool. It doesn't solve the problem. It's a tool to help, right?
Correct. So a lot of the preemptive work that we needed designers for, like creating drafts and rough layouts, we don't need them for that anymore. You're now basically just doing a final deliverable. Like we already have ideas.
Right. But that still lends some credence to that you'll need less graphic designers then, because
That's correct.
you won't need as much time from the ones that you do have, so you need fewer of them.
And they are getting better
And they are getting better
by the day.
Yeah.
We have an entire ad campaign running right now where a graphic designer didn't have to touch a graphic other than
Oh, when you
resize
say
it.
they are getting better, you mean the AI?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm aware of that.
Like we have an entire marketing campaign going right now. Actually, so the graphic designer was needed for two things. He had to resize the graphics that we pulled out of AI. And there was one that we had to recreate where we went and bought a stock photo, and all he had to do was crop it to size and add the wording.
Wow.
I could have had my office assistant basically do it.
Yeah.
Right.
The next comment here says that companies don't look anymore. Look for something else before it's too late. This is coming from a designer or myself.
Yeah, it's so I always think of this back in so my first web developer that I ever hired, right? That was like the first guy that I worked with, used to run a printing press. And this is back in like the early 2000s. And I remember me and him were having a conversation. I asked him like, how did you get into like web development out of everything? And he's like, well, I was a printer, right? He was like, I was like designer / printer. And he's like, I saw it coming.
Yeah.
He's like, I knew this printing press was probably not going to be around in 10 years. He's like, so I needed something different to do. And he's like, the web was taking over. So I'm like, the web will probably last my lifetime, right? Just like the printing lasted my dad's lifetime. So he's like, I decided to get into that because I saw there was a future there, right? Doesn't mean that there aren't still people in the print industry today. There's just a lot fewer of them. And graphic designers are unfortunately headed that way, right? You're going to get left with the really good ones, and anybody that's mediocre or below will not have a job. They're going to work for I hate to say it, but like a Minuteman press, laying basic things out because they make more money off the print than the design.
Yeah.
Right? Like 10 years ago, Minuteman Press didn't charge for graphic design.
So to this person, right? Mm-hmm. The Program Express 2918, what do you recommend? Like, what would you say in today's day and age, knowing kind of where things are going?
Go freelance. Make sure that you are good enough. Build relationships, not with other designers, but build relationships with people that use graphic designers, and get honest feedback on your work.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because once again, we're unfortunately in an era right now where if you aren't good enough, they're not going to hire you. Because if you're not doing better work than what I can pull out of an AI, then why should I pay you?
Yeah, that's true.
The reality.
It's very true. So I like that idea though. Go get honest feedback from people. And I hate to say it, you might not be as good as you think you are.
Nope.
And that's a reality.
Most graphic designers aren't.
That's just a reality. Yeah, they're really not. They think they're great, and they're sometimes just not.
I love when people send me an email looking for work and they include their portfolio. And I click on that link and I go, you probably should have just sent me the email.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I've seen that as well. So, all right, Program Express, good luck to you.
Mm-hmm. It's not undoable, right?
It's not.
If he's good enough, you will get a job eventually. You just got to work your way into it.
I think you're right. Within 10 years, if not sooner, there's going to be a less and less need for fewer and fewer graphic designers.
There's a reason companies like Canva have had massive subscriber and like they're growing rapidly, right?
Yep.
And the next one they're coming after is going to be short format video producers.
Is that right?
Oh yeah. It's there already, right? It's just a matter of like talking head videos, explainer videos, training videos. We even have a guy that's my water treatment guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was on the phone with him yesterday and he goes, hey, I set up this cool AI. And he's like, I typed in the explanations for what the water system does. And it's like a avatar that pretty much looks exactly like me. And he sends me the video. And I've only seen the guy once. And I'm like, if I didn't know this was AI, you could have told me that you recorded this video.
That's so cool.
It's, The only thing is, like, it's very emotionless.
Yeah.
That's the only telltale sign, right? But even that is getting better.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so, yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
It's scary.
Well,
it really is.
We always said, like, that AI would come for creatives first, right? Like, but it didn't come from the creatives we thought it was going to come for. It came for the copywriters. It came for the editors. It came for, now it's moving into coming for the people we thought it was coming for, the graphic designers, the videographers, like the creatives as we think of traditional creatives. But yeah, unfortunately, the comment about AI,
it's legit.
It's not going to make it obsolete, but it's like entry-level programming.
Yeah.
Right? Like the bar for entry-level programming has been raised.
Yep.
Right? It's the bottom 10% no longer have a job. Right? Like the new entry level is what the entry level
is, like, what mid-level used to be.
Correct.
It really is.
Yes.
I know hiring developers to this day. In fact, we just had another interview today. I know, man. I know what it's like. All right. So again, good luck to you, Program Express. I do wish you the best. Oh, this is fun. Throw Raw 11775 says, I'm looking to make money. I am a 22-year-old male trying to start a business, but I have no direction where to go. I want to start small and just try to make $50 a day and improve from there, but I have no direction. Any help? We get this a lot. We deal with this quite often. But what the heck? Let's deal with it again.
go do anything.
Go do anything. I don't care what it is.
That provides value to someone else. Right.
Okay. So again, we'll throw a few ideas out there again. So we'll talk about a couple of offline ideas and a couple of online ideas. The simplest thing in the world, the two that we talk about all the time, the two easiest things in the world to just start and go do today is landscaping and cleaning. Right? Yes. Just go buy a lawnmower or go buy some mops and towels. Yep. That's and then go tell people you have a service.
If you are in a city, find some common problem like people in the suburbs have with grass. Find a common problem in the city where you could charge someone like
go wash their cars. Something, you know?
Water their flowers, pick up their dog poop.
Yeah.
Right? Like I didn't realize that there's a whole industry where people take care of your flowers.
Yep.
Right? Like there's a business watering people's flowers and taking care of them.
I could see that before I could see the cleaning up the yards of dog poop.
Mm-hmm.
That is a booming industry right now.
What was it that came out the other day? That they're spending $50,000 a year to take care of 4 plants inside the Department of something.
Is that
right? And they went and looked around and there's like 4 plants in the building. And they were spending $50,000 a year on a contractor to come take care of the flowers in the building.
See, you can make money that way.
There's that's more than $50 a day, right? Yeah, it always comes down to like, just do something, which brings me to my update that I haven't told you yet.
Oh, yes. Are you doing something?
No.
Oh.
My daughter is.
Ooh.
So remember the business?
Yes.
The lemonade stand?
Yes.
So today, when she gets home from school, we are going to work on her business plan. She is going to figure out what inventory she needs.
Okay.
And she has now expanded that she's not only going to sell lemonade, but she also wants to have snacks, like small bags of popcorn. And because if people have something to drink, they might want to snack with it so she can double her sales.
Exactly.
So today we are going online. She is going to research on her own. I'm going to let her do it. How much the little Smart Food popcorn bags cost.
Okay.
Like when we buy them in bulk at BJ's.
Yep.
She also wants to have soda as a secondary option if people don't like lemonade.
Interesting. Okay.
So she wants to look at key items, like she wants to have Fresca because it's like lemonade, but it's not. And a couple of other things. So that's literally what she's doing this afternoon is looking up what is the cost of these items and how much money do I need to front to buy all my inventory. Because then she can decide whether she can afford to put up 1 stand or 2 stands. Mm-hmm. If it's only 1 stand, then she's going to put a little bit more into the cost of printing the decorations. But if it's 2 stands, she's thinking about just getting cardboard boxes and hand painting them instead.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, like we have a business developing here.
That is great. I love that.
So today, she's going to learn how to use an Excel file and set up, here's the cost divided by number of items, what margin you need.
Dude, by the time your kid's 12, she's going to be a billionaire. I love it.
No, but it's like, once again, it's more about the experience of learning how all this works, right? And that's where you start. Like if you're looking to make money, this is all there is to it, right? Because then when we're done doing this, the next conversation I'm going to be having with her, once we figured out, like, here's your inventory, here's what it's going to cost, here are your margins. The next thing I'm going to ask her is, well, how are you going to get people to show up, right? And now she's going to have to think, well, how, like, maybe our street isn't busy enough. Maybe I should move to the church. Maybe we should do this on a Sunday outside of the church because there's already foot traffic. Maybe we should go do it in the parking lot at the grocery store, right? And if we do it there, do we need permits? Do we have to get approval? So like she's about to go through this whole journey now without even realizing it.
Right.
But that's how you start with anything.
Yeah.
Right. Now she's lucky in the fact that I can mentor her through this process, but you can get access to people like me more than you realize that will literally tell you, here's what you need to look at. Here's the things you should be doing. Here's the things you need to be aware of. It's just a matter of reaching out. And I would recommend not doing it on a platform like Reddit, but actually finding someone that's making money and go talk to them. Like $50 a day.
Oh, that's so achievable.
Now, because he puts the dollar sign behind the 50, I'm going to assume that you're talking about someone overseas.
Sure.
Right? So $50 a day for them could be a lot, sort of
depending on where they are.
Yeah. But all it comes down to is provide value to someone that separates them from their money.
Yep.
Right? Whatever that value is, whether it's doing their dishes or taking out their trash or mowing their lawn or washing their car or doing an oil change on their motorcycle, like provide some kind of value in exchange for the dollars and you will be fine. You just got to figure out what.
Yeah, you're talking about basically being your own gig economy.
Yes.
Right. You're just instead of going through TaskRabbit, just do it yourself,
Mm-hmm.
or go through TaskRabbit. But the problem with going through TaskRabbit is they're going to take a percentage of what you're doing.
But that's how every business starts, right? Like, is you figure out something that you can do for someone where they would rather pay you to do it than do it themselves.
Exactly. And there's all so that's the labor side of things. There's all kinds of labor things that you can do, like you said, watering plants, washing dishes, whatever. And then there's the non-labor laborious stuff, like online, right? So we talked about graphic design, we talk about programming,
affiliate marketing,
right?
Like,
I mean, we talk about AI all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I would still say, I don't have any statistics to back this up. I would still say 95% of people out there, probably more, have no clue how to properly use AI.
No.
Right? It's probably more than that.
Yeah.
Go take 2-3 hours a day for a week and go properly learn how to use AI and then sell that as a service.
Yeah.
I will use AI to help your business.
There's actually a guy that I follow on TikTok that it's funny because he started following me a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And he's now outgrown me on TikTok.
That's funny.
And what he did when AI was first coming, he went head in first.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like fully. And then because of his background, he was like, wait a minute, I can develop training programs around how to use AI. He's like, I can develop training programs on how to teach businesses how to do AI. So he started doing that, ended up getting hired to do these teaching gigs and conferences and stuff where he is. And now he licenses that program that he developed to other people that now do it. Like, but that's spotting a problem that's coming and then doing what you need to do in order to turn it into a business.
Yep.
And I love the guy.
Yeah. That's great. And again, this guy could do something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Again, even if he doesn't want to make, if you don't want to make the training materials for somebody else, train yourself and then offer yourself as the service.
Yep.
You're going to use AI to help this company solve whatever problems they're having.
Yeah. You want to hear a really, really simple one? So there was a guy that I was talking to and he's like, yeah, I help people understand where their customer support or like how people perceive the business and the experience of going there through reviews.
Oh, okay.
So all he was doing, this was like the most brilliant thing in the world. Like he would go to every site that had reviews on the business, gather all the reviews, and then use AI to find the common denominators that people were complaining about. The common things that people were happy about. And then he used AI to write a report on how to reinforce the things they were doing well and how to improve the things that people were complaining the most about.
I love that.
And he was literally using reviews and ChatGPT to do this.
Isn't that great?
It's
so simple.
Yes.
It's so simple.
Right. And he charges businesses for this now.
As you should.
Yeah. I mean,
you know why? Because the business, number one, wouldn't have thought to do it.
Correct.
They don't have the people who know how to do it.
Correct.
Right. So again, let me say it like this. What you're doing looks incredibly simple.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not because someone else doesn't know how to do it. It's the old adage of the guy who turned the nut 1/4 of an inch and fixed the machine. You know that one, right?
Yeah, or the guy with the hammer.
Or the guy with the hammer, right? Bang it. So for people that don't know this one, it's a guy goes to a machine shop. Something's not working, and they call the guy who invented the machine or whatever, someone who's been working on it for 20 years. And the guy walks in, and in 30 seconds he has it fixed, and he gives them a bill for $25,000. And they say, "Hey, look, we're happy to pay because our assembly line was down, but why is it $25,000? What did you do? Well, I had to tap in this rod over here that was out of place. Well, you think that's worth $25,000? Well, the tapping, if you read the itemized invoice, the tapping was only $1. The other $24,999 was knowing where to tap.
Yes.
Right. And that's kind of what this is here. Your guy that you're talking about knows how to take that information and feed it into a tool to spit out useful information for the business.
And I tell people all the time when it comes to AI, because people are like, oh, you're hoarding prompts, you're keeping them secret. Well, yes, the ability to properly prompt AI is what makes it
a trade secret.
Correct.
Oh,
that is what makes you valuable.
Absolutely.
Right? Like that's that engineer that knows how to do something that nobody else knows how to do. It just happens to be.
That's like me writing a piece of code that will take your Excel spreadsheet and turn it into useful information for you. And you're going to say to me, well, all you're doing is clicking a button. No. You know how much time I had to put into developing that and learning how to. Same thing with AI. I didn't just do it today for the first time.
Nope.
I had to spend months and maybe even a year really learning how to prompt this thing properly. And that's what you're paying for.
And it's the same thing. Like, so we do these, I don't know if I've ever shown you, but we do these business blueprints. I don't know did I ever show you one of those?
I don't think so. Oh, wait, no, yes, of course. Yes. Because we were building a tool for you before. Yeah.
So basically it started with, it was like a 17 chain prompt. So 17 items. And from that, we were able to develop like these what we call the business blueprints. And you and I were working on building this so it would spit it out, right? Well, we figured out that we could build a custom GPT. We could feed it all. So this was prior to that happening, right? So we don't get as detailed of a blueprint, but for someone that we're just interviewing, we literally have them go through and answer like 13 questions. And from those 13 questions, I know more about your business and your audience than you probably know when you come to me.
Right.
And we use AI to do it all. And it's cut off so much research work that we previously had to do, right? Like it saves hours of time on research. And most of the time, I'm not going to say all the time, right? But it's also because we know how to look at the output and go, something looks off here. Right. But without that experience, we wouldn't know something looks off. So yeah, it's our ability to control the inputs or the prompts and understanding what the expectation is that we should see coming out the other end.
Right.
And there's been a couple of times where we've brainstormed something and then we fed it through and it came out with something different than what we did. And we looked at it and we were like, is it right or are we right? Right? Like, we had to question it. And there's been once where we came up with an idea for like what we thought was going to be a buyer persona and the AI came out with a different one. And we're like, I think it's right. I think we're wrong and it's right. And we actually went with the AI version of it.
AI's recommendation.
Yeah.
That's great. No, that kind of stuff will happen. You know, it's where you'll spend. Look, I'd love to run this experiment. Put a team of people over here that are not using AI and one person over here that is using AI and have them try to accomplish the same tasks.
So MIT has already started studying this.
Have they?
So they use grant writers as an example. And they found out that a average grant writer can turn into a good grant writer using AI in 40% less time.
Oh, geez.
And it's productivity overall for industries where AI is suitable. AI can shave off as much as 30% of the time people are currently using. I believe it was MIT that put that out.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, productivity for certain industries that learn how to properly use AI, productivity is going to go through the roof.
You can't beat that.
No.
So, all right. So anyway, ThrowRaw 11775. There's a million ways to make some cash.
Yeah.
Offline, online, whether you're putting labor in or you're putting intelligence and intellectual property and whatever. You're 22 years old, man. You got all the energy in the world.
Yeah.
Just get up and do it. Honestly, really. At the end of the day, here's your kick in the butt. Get up and do it.
Yeah.
You'll have no problem. You'll have no problem making money. So best of luck to you. Let's see. Let's move on. See what else we got today. All right. This is from Kilby Yovai, who says, a reminder for all entrepreneurs. Oh, this sounds like a motivational speech. Let's see. A reminder for all entrepreneurs. Hold on. Let me get in my my storytelling mode. If at first you don't succeed, try again. W.E. Hickson.
William.
Many of us work hard every day and still don't succeed. It can be discouraging and painful. What I want you to always keep in mind is that determination always pays off. Every time you try a new business, every time you sit to read a book, every time you work out, there are changes going on, and every single action you take matters. Sometimes we don't see the results immediately, but remember that changes take time and it will be great. Change is subtle at times, but this is only because you look at the tip of the iceberg. Any change in our behavior or understanding of the world has a tremendous impact on literally every single aspect of every single thing. We underestimate the importance of subconscious, but slowly we are becoming who we really wish to be. Every change will get you closer to where you want to be. So be happy, be grateful. Take the time to notice the changes and continue to work hard. It will certainly pay off. Keep doing the hard work, even if it seems to be useless. Create systems that guarantee success. Commit to them day after day. And if it fails, try again, but learn from what didn't work and do better. You are never repeating yourself. Life isn't a circle. Life is like the business cycle. It goes up, it goes down, with a trend pointing to the sky and reaching for the stars one day. Quote, no man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he is not the same man. Heraclitus.
Mm-hmm.
And also one last tip. Always have fun. Happiness is driving force of everything. Take the time to be happy, to refuel yourself with joy. Only with that driving force can you work for long hours without being exhausted. If you have no energy, alias stamina, you won't go far. Willpower has only this much power over your life. That's kind of cool. That's absolutely right. No, he's absolutely right about that, because as a business owner or someone who's trying to get into business, you're going to go through those trials and tribulations, and you're going to find yourself sometimes almost like rock bottom, where you're like, I just don't know if this is worth it. I tried and it didn't work out. I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't have any money. I have all these bills, and you're going to go through some really rough patches, and that's just the reality.
I was going to say that's describing every entrepreneur.
Every entrepreneur everywhere. That's what happens. And and what they're saying here is there's nothing wrong with that. No. Expect that and embrace that. Take that with as you're doing the right thing. So if you do start so take this last guy, right? The 20-year-old guy who wants to make $50 a day, right? Go start a business. And if it doesn't work out, don't say I just wasted my time. This is saying, learn from that. What did you do wrong? How are you a better person for it? How are you a better business owner for it? How are you a better marketer for it? How are you a better networker for it? I'll take all those things that you learned over the last 6, 8, 12 months, whatever it was you were running your business, and go do it again. Try again. And eventually something will work. It took me, when I was in my 20s, my businesses weren't working out very well. In my early 30s, they weren't working. They were okay. But it took me into my 40s to really, really get going with my businesses.
And it's not only that, is people are, first of all, they're impatient. They think a lot of the stuff takes less time than it does. And the other part is people often forget that, like, you can start things late in life too, right? Like, when did Jeff Bezos start Amazon? What was he, like 40 something, 47,
something like that?
40, whatever. Like, there's a bunch of people that have started late in life, and what they did was they accumulated knowledge and experience before.
Oh no, he was 30.
30. Okay. But yeah, there's other founders that have started way late in life, and it's a cumulative experience. And you can get experience from working with others. You can, Colonel Sanders, 65.
Oh yeah, Colonel Sanders, 65. Ray Kroc was in his 50s. Vera Wang in her 40s. Yeah. Right.
And these are all names you know.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. Especially Colonel Sanders.
Everybody knows Colonel Sanders. Yeah, I don't know. It's that old saying, like, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Yeah.
And when you are an entrepreneur, when you are a business owner, when you are going through all of this, just like I'm doing with my daughter right now, do I care whether her lemonade stand makes money or not?
No.
It's totally irrelevant, right?
Completely. The
She is
lesson she's going to learn, though.
correct.
For life lessons.
She is going through a journey right now of entrepreneurship on a micro level.
Yeah.
Right. And she's going to have the highs, right? Right now she's in the research, which is boring as hell, right? And then we're going to get into the making of the lemonade, which is going to be a high because now she's making it. She's all excited for people to buy it. And then if she sets up in the wrong spot, she's going to go through the lows of realizing that location matters, right? She's not going to sell out of lemonade, or she's not going to make enough money to cover her expenses. And that's going to be a learning lesson.
Yeah.
Does that mean that the lemonade stand failed? No. No, it just means you were probably at the improper location. You didn't hand out enough flyers to let people know you would be doing the lemonade stand on that specific Saturday or Sunday. Yeah. If she ends up making money from her very first venture, great. Then she's learned something from that. But it's all for me, it's all about the journey, right? And it's not only just the journey for me, it's also the people you impact along the way.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize it, but I was talking to one of my employees on Friday, and he goes, I just wanted to say thank you, by the way. And I'm like, for what? He's like, today is the 2-year mark since I started working for you.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, really? It's been 2 years? And he's like, yeah. And I can't tell you thank you enough because my life has taken a 180 turn in 2 years. He's like, I went from being broke, having to live with my aunt and uncle, not really able to do anything, couldn't afford anything, was having to be like fed by the help of family, to now living in my own place in a different town, being self-sufficient and being able to pay people back. He's like,
Wow.
you have no idea what that means.
That's great.
Right. And I'm like, well, that's part of your journey, right? Like my journey and yours happen to overlap. I don't know for how long it will, but like he has grown as a person, an individual over those 2 years, like drastically. Like he is not the same person I hired 2 years ago. I didn't even realize it had been 2 years.
That's crazy. That's great.
But it was all about the journey, right?
Yeah.
And I've told him multiple times, like, if you ever want to start your own thing where you are, go for it. Like, I will help you learn sales and how to sell what you do because you're good at it, right? Like, if you want to take the next step, then by all means do. And he's shown no interest in it. Like, he's happy where he is right now. But even being working for someone else that's going through the journey, because like I've worked for entrepreneurs and it's exciting as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like you get to see the highs and the lows and without a lot of the risk.
Without the risk is the big
correct,
thing. Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like, so yeah, it's all about the journey. Like, who cares where you end up? Right? Like,
yeah.
I could end up broke or I could end up a millionaire or a billionaire. Like, who cares? Like, it's exciting.
It is.
It's fun. It's educational. Like, that's, to me, is what a lot of this stuff is about.
Yeah.
But
and you know, when you go through it, I love this speech, by the way. This is great. This is good stuff. This writing here. As you go through it, you have to keep in mind that you're not wasting your time.
No.
You're not. And people do. People think that I talk to people, this was a waste of time. I shouldn't have done this. No, you absolutely should have.
So for 5 years, one of my buddies has been working for a deck builder. And for the last 3 years, the deck builder has been complaining that there's not enough work out there. Mm-hmm. So they've been like laying him off during the winters and stuff. And finally this year he decided, okay, I'm going to go out and do it on my own. Right. So the first thing he did was he came and sat with me in my on my back deck that he actually built and just started bombarding me with questions. We sat there for probably 3 hours.
Drinking whiskey, I'm sure. And smoking cigars.
Maybe. Very likely. But he came with all these questions, and he went and talked to another business owner, and the other business owner was like, you're not ready. You're not ready. We don't think you can do it. He came to me, and I'm like, the only way you're going to get ready is by going out there and doing it. Like, you're going to bump your head.
There's no class for this.
No. So the funny thing is, he started doing like side work. That's how it started. And then that evolved into him having enough side work that he was able to do a bunch of stuff, even though all of it wasn't decks, right? So when he finally decided to start his business officially, he came up with a name and all that stuff. And because he's a good friend of mine, I decided to like help him out, right? So we did his logo, his business card, just did his website. We just launched his Google business profile. His digital footprint, meaning on Google Maps, on search engine, is already 5 times that of his old boss.
Oh, jeez. I love that.
I had never looked up his old boss because like it wasn't a concern of mine. But he happened to show up as a competitor. And I can tell you, this guy now, he was fortunate in the fact that like he had people to help him out, like me and like the other guy that's helping him, like costing material and costing labor and stuff. But if he wouldn't have told us, if he wouldn't have talked to us, we couldn't have helped him, right? And for him, this is going to be a whole new.
Oh, yeah. Well, so take your friend for example, right? So a lot of people have this delusion that, well, I'm going to go work for somebody because I'll learn a lot about the business then and there. No, what you're learning is how to do the work that the business requires. Yeah. You're not learning anything about the business. You're not learning anything about actually running the business. No. This guy, your buddy's learning how to make decks. He's not learning how to sell. He's not learning about customer satisfaction. He's not learning about material sourcing and stuff like that, right? He's learning how to make a deck.
Correct. Not unless you ask the business owner, can I come with you to sales meetings? Can I come with you to these places? Can I see? And a lot of business owners will let you kind of peek behind the curtain, so to speak. But in this case, it's a perfect example of, yes, he ran a successful business. His former boss is hugely successful. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that he has to cap out where his boss capped out. Right. Exactly. Like, we can take this business to the next level. Right. And it was funny because the conversation went from a month ago being, I don't know if I'll have enough work for this year, to literally last night me talking to him saying, I think I'm going to have to find some dependable help. Right. See and that's a month. Yeah. Right. That's how the conversation changed in a month. Just signed a contract for a $200,000 deck.
Now, about the dependable help part, sorry, buddy, you got to sit down. We got a different conversation to have for you.
Go listen to episode 7.
Whatever. So bad. Oh no, that's great. But no, Kilby Yove. This is great. No, I love this, and I love the fact that this person is just putting this out there for people to just to motivate them, getting nothing in return. Forget about the karma stuff. This person just put this out there as a, hey man, I'm there with you. I know what it's like to be in the trenches. You'll be okay. This is great. I love this. So thank you, Kilby. This is fantastic stuff to put out there. And believe me, if no one else does, we absolutely appreciate that over here. All right, let's move on to Z23 says, startup leadership style, authoritative, ? A quick context. I'm running a startup with 6 founders for almost a year. Yes, we are growing, but I have this feeling that I should not be falsely accused by people, which creates a huge conflict, or expecting people to always come and get my guidelines before they act on things like these. I'm not sure where they're going with this. Somewhere this thought is pestering me. Being a non-tech founder running this team, what am I supposed to be? So I guess they're asking is, what they're asking is, how do I run the company? I guess is what they're asking. I've never been a big fan of the autocrat, the authoritative, you will do this and this is exactly how you're going to do it. I've never been a fan of that. I've always been a fan of yes, I'm the boss as I own the company, but this is what I want to have accomplished. You do what you think is the best way to accomplish that task. And I'll tell you why I do that. If they don't do a good job, then they're not the person that I want at that position. Because eventually I will need that person to be able to do that without my input.
Yep.
And because otherwise we have the founder syndrome thing we talked about before. Otherwise, if I'm constantly on top of people, telling them day in and day out what they need to do and don't do, the business will never be able to grow beyond me. It won't. So from the get-go, I like my people to be able to do things on their own with minimal input.
Yes.
And the ones that can't, that's okay. They're just not meant to work with me.
They're meant to work under a manager.
Or they're meant to work under a manager or something like that. That's a good point too. So I've never been the whip cracker, so to speak, in my businesses.
Yeah.
Believe me, I have friends and people that own businesses that absolutely are. And you can tell that it's growing to a point where it's not going to be able to grow anymore.
Yep.
It just is, because these people cannot do a thing. They can't type anything on the keyboard without the owner looking over their shoulder, making sure they're putting in the right keys. It just doesn't make sense to me.
No.
So what are your thoughts?
So the thing that gets me to this in this thing is I should not be falsely accused by people. Like, what is falsely accused?
I don't know.
Right?
I have this feeling that I should not be falsely accused by people, which creates a huge conflict. I guess I guess what they're saying is, this is a pure speculation, that they're being accused of being like overbearing on their, like, to the point of where it's an unhospitable work environment.
Right. So for me,
maybe
so for me, a lot of this stuff comes back to you're either a leader or you're a manager. You can't be both.
Right.
Right. So the fact that you're saying that people are falsely accusing you of something probably doesn't mean they're falsely accusing you of something. It could mean that you don't like what they're saying and you don't see it the same way.
Yeah.
And
true.
therefore you see it as false.
True. Victimhood. Yeah.
Correct. So whenever I hear what I call rumors, whether it's about me or about someone else, my thought is always, how did this rumor start?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what led to it? And normally it always traces back to something I did or something I said, or how I said something or how I did something and how someone else interpreted that.
Right.
So to me, this is really just a lesson in stop looking at other people and start looking at yourself. This is not a them problem. This is a me problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if they are, I think it was Zig Ziglar that said, if you speak to an audience and no one hears you, fall to your knees and apologize, for you have misspoken.
Right.
Right? So it's not about what you said. It's about what the listener heard. And I, very early on in my career, learned that when I take on a new employee, when I'm working with new people, I always make clear that what I said is what they understood.
Sure.
And I kind of feel like this is what he might be talking about, is he's saying something in a way that comes off authoritative or comes off like being a DICK, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
And that may not be his intent, and therefore he doesn't see it. Right?
That's true. Yeah. I have a friend that does that. I have a friend that he's very, very, very good, very good businessman. And but sometimes with his employees, he'll explain something to them. Right?
Is this the guy in Texas?
Yes. And
I can totally see that. I've only talked to him once.
He'll explain something to them, and then he'll say to them, all right, repeat back what I just said. Explain to me what I just told you.
Mm-hmm.
And what he means to say is, I want to make sure you understand, say it back to me. But the way he says it, sometimes it totally comes off like a obnoxious prick.
I know. I've only met the guy once, and I can totally see it.
And he's one of my best friends. I love. He's a great guy.
But the funny thing is, like that is not his intent at all.
No, it's
right?
not.
Like,
no, not by any means.
It's just because he is how he is, right? I saw a lot of commonalities between me and him. Like, we're both like ADHD, store way too much information in our head, like blurt things out at you, and then we just want to make sure that you got it, right? Like,
but that's not the way it comes out.
No, it's not at all.
It comes out like, you're an idiot. You didn't listen to a word I said. Prove me wrong.
It took me like 7 years to realize that that's how I often came off. Oh yeah. So now, like, I have to I have to make like a real attempt at when I explain something to someone to literally go, okay, I just want to make sure you understood everything. So like if you had to train me on how to do this, how would you train me?
That's so much nicer.
Right? But it gives me an idea of, did I skip steps in the training process? Did they miss steps? Like where in the communication was there a breakdown? And if there was, how can I fix it? Right? Because I always see it as my problem.
Yeah. And it is. If you did explain it properly, it is your problem. Exactly.
And then the other thing in this situation, that if you have 6 founders, you better have a really good outline of who does what who's responsible for what.
Yeah.
Right?
6 founders is a lot.
Yeah. A lot.
And it looks like this person's responsible for the AI team. Because that's what it says down here.
Yeah.
Being a non-tech founder running this AI team, what am I supposed to be?
What does responsible for the team mean?
Yeah, right.
Right? Like you can throw out all kinds of words and say, well, this is your division. Okay. All of it? Like, do I control the finances for the division, or is that the CFO? Right? Like, do I control hiring, or is that HR? Right? Like, so you have to really define, like, what is your role? What is each founder's role, and what do they decide? And I always go back to the tech founders. I think there was 3 of them that started a business, and the business started struggling, and they had designated one as the CEO. He ended up firing 2 of the other co-founders.
Wow.
He's like, the company can't afford to keep you guys on.
I think we talked about this. Yeah.
I'm like, if they hadn't clearly outlined that he was a functioning CEO of that business, he would not have been able to even bring up that conversation. Now, from what I understand, I didn't read the rest, but from what I understand, the co-founders later came back into the business, but at the time they couldn't keep them on. Right? Like,
now, that they don't lose their ownership in the business. They're just not employees of the business any longer.
Yeah.
That's what happens, man. It really is what happens. So anyway, so Z23, authoritative, to each his own. You know, you have to manage however is best with your personality. You're not going to change your personality. I will say that people don't like to be talked down to. People don't like to be talked over. People don't like to be treated like they're stupid or idiots, right?
And it's not that you have to change your personality; it's changing your communication style.
True, that's a good point.
A lot of times, it is nothing more than, and the more you learn about human behavior and how humans behave and how they hear, the better off you are going to be, because it helps you not only understand you but also the person you're talking to.
Yeah.
Right. So, I go back to, like, it's part of what's in my book, when you go back to like neurolinguistic programming, right? So you have people that are visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, right? So you could be saying the same thing, like, does this look good to you? And the other person goes, I don't know. No, does it look good to you? And the person's like, I don't know. Versus if you're kinesthetic, I have to tell you, does this feel like the right solution? And you'll go, yeah, right? I'm saying the same thing, but I'm not.
Right.
It's just because they can't visualize it like you do as a visual person. So they will never know whether it looks right or not, right? They'll never know whether it sounds right or not. Yeah. They'll just have a feeling that it feels right to them. So if you're an auditory or visual talking to a kinesthetic, there's going to be bumps in the road, right? Unless you adapt and you understand that you're really saying the same thing using different words. And like when I used to teach the workshops about this type of stuff, I always used real estate as an example.
Yeah.
Like I would put a picture of a house and I would tell everyone in the room, I want you to write the description of this house for the next buyer. And it was interesting because everybody had, like some people would have, oh, it feels cozy and warm. And like they were all feeling words, right? And then I would have someone else that would write, oh, it looks fantastic with phenomenal views.
Yeah.
And it was because they saw the world way more visually than the person that was kinesthetic.
Sure.
So they used a lot more feeling words, right? And then you could put this in front of, like, you could swap them and you go, are they describing the same house? Right? And a lot of times they were like, yeah, but I don't see it like that. Well, the house doesn't feel like this to me. Well, guess what?
Right.
If you're a real estate agent, how you write your listings is going to determine what buyers get interested.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? If they are reading the description and you're all visual, but they're all like, oh, I want to cuddle up in front of the fireplace and feel cozy, your description may not reach those people properly unless the photos do. Right?
Yeah. And you're right. It comes down to communication. It really does. So that's a good point. To be a better manager means you need to be able to communicate better.
That's 100%. That's all. That is your entire job as a manager. Is to understand humans and be able to
and not just humans, you're humans.
Yes, you're humans.
Right? You have to understand each of your I'll give you an example of what I do. So all my employees, I know their birthdays, I know their spouse's birthdays, I know their kids' birthdays if they have kids, right? And I will hey, happy birthday. I used to send flowers to the wife on if it was all my guys are guys right now. I no more. Right. Unfortunately, I have no women in my company yet. No longer, I should say. The last one quit over the summer. Still looking, but. So I used to send their wives flowers on their birthdays until one guy got a little weirded out by that. So we don't do that anymore, but we'll still say, hey, happy birthday to your wife or something like that. Maybe give them like a gift card to go to dinner. Right. Oh, yeah. But the point is get to know your people individually because they are individuals. And sometimes you'll have two different meetings with two different people and have to communicate in two different ways.
And the benefit of certain industries is that like, a lot of them are probably going to have the primary languages, primary triggers, they're all going to be a variation of the same person, right? Like programming. I can tell you that from a marketing perspective, all of your programmers are going to fall in a similar bucket.
Oh, yeah.
Right? All of the creatives are going to fall in a similar bucket. Everybody that volunteers for a nonprofit is going to fall in a similar bucket. And they're most likely going to use very similar languages, right? Visual, kinesthetic, auditory. Yeah. So like the only reason you have to learn all this and learn about your people is because you're going to be doing this over and over and over again, as long as you're managing a similar team.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
all right, Z23, I hope that helps. Communicate better. Be a better communicator. I think that's what it really comes down to. And it doesn't matter how long you've done it for and how good you are at it. You can always be a better communicator.
Oh yeah, you can always. I'm still learning.
Yeah, you can always learn how to communicate.
I've been studying human nature now for 20 years, and I'm still learning stuff.
Yeah. All right, so moving on. Get time for one more, right?
One
more. Okay. So this is from Acceptable Scholar 453, who says, "No formal business schooling. What's next? ? I am a solopreneur and I run my small business from home. With no formal business schooling, my background is in teaching. I've built my business through trial and error and things I've learned online. I did hire a coach for 9 months while I was in the startup phase and learned a lot. My industry is financial education. I teach people to manage their money and invest. My biggest obstacles in scaling are lead generation and optimizing my funnel. My small client base is extremely happy with my services, but growth from their referrals alone feels too slow. I think the next step for my business is being able to is about being seated at the right tables. That is more B2B connections and referrals. I don't come for money and have no entrepreneurs in my family. I want to work with someone who's well-connected and can help me scale. Please do not recommend an online course. I want real support from a mentor or program, and I'm willing to pay a pretty penny. Do you think this should come in the form of a renowned MBA program, perhaps something like Harvard? I know my service is incredibly valuable, but I don't know how to break into the right circles to gain high quality leads. What do you do next if you were me?"
So my wife is finishing up her MBA. She's literally taking her last 2 classes right now.
Nice.
And not once in her entire MBA program did she learn about scaling a business.
No. No, not at all. You don't learn any of that stuff in school. No, you learn theory, and you learn sometimes like a lot. I would imagine a lot of statistics in there too, right?
Statistics.
Yeah. Imagine some statistics.
One of her class right now is having her go through negotiations.
Oh yes, very good class. That's a great class.
Yeah, I've had to coach her through.
Oh yeah,
all the negotiations.
Well, because you're a business owner, you know how to do that stuff.
And it was funny because, like, I remember the last assignment she got. She's like, "Why wouldn't I just negotiate it fairly?" And I'm like, "Why wouldn't you negotiate it to your advantage?"
Yeah. When I was in law school, we had the ADR classes, alternative dispute resolution, and negotiation was a big part of it.
Yeah.
And I'd already had a business for 10 years at that point, and that was my jam, right? That was my class, right? It was
correct.
That was the easiest one of all of them, where everyone else is struggling. It was like, I've been doing this for 10 years.
But it was interesting to me that she didn't really, because to her it was all about fairness, and I'm like, no, you are in a seat where, based on how this exercise is set up, is you're the controlling party. Like, you have all the power to negotiate in the situation, because regardless of, you could partner with either A or B and still get more points individually than either of them can, right? So even if they partner up, they will not get the same amount of points as you do with partnering with either one of them. Right. So as long as you don't piss them off, right? They have to understand that it's to their benefit to partner with you, and that applies to both of them. So you can find out what the maximum solution is, where everybody gets the maximum amount of point without like losing. And she was like, "How would I do that?" And I'm like, "Here, let's just do the math. Like, here it is. Like, you can force the issue up to these points, and they will still get the same amount of points as if the two of them partner together. They will get fewer points than if each of them partner with you individually." Like, it's weird how it's set up. I forget what the exercise is called, but yeah, she basically ended up, it was funny because I was like listening to the conversation, and she goes, "Okay, so let me just lay this out for you guys." And then she basically said verbatim what I had told her. And so I'm like,
she went right for the throat.
She did. She no messing around. Like,
I like that.
I was like, that's the way to do it.
It is. Sometimes you go get right to it.
She was like, we were busy that night. She didn't feel like doing it. So she was like, "Listen, guys, here's what it is. Do you have anything to say about it?" And the one was like, "Well, I'm not sure I'm happy with it." She's like, "Go ahead. Do you want to partner with the other person? Make less?"
Yeah.
And they were like, "No." I'm like, "Then that's what's on the table." And they ended up spending like 10 minutes talking about it, and then exercise over. Right?
So for Acceptable Scholar here, I think my opinion, they're looking at it the wrong way. They're looking at it as, what do I need to do to grow my business? And how do I get somebody in here to help me grow my business? And that's the wrong answer. That's the wrong approach. If you're going to get somebody in there to help grow your business, what you want is, you seem to be the person who, and we say this a lot, you're working on your business. You're the one that's in there every day doing the grunt work for the business. Get somebody else to do that. And then you step away from that and you go out and you start networking and growing your business.
So I tell people all the time, and this is 99% of the time, marketing is your problem.
Yeah.
Right? You're not marketing, and therefore you're not getting clients.
But go deeper though, because people think marketing means ads, and it doesn't always mean ads. There's a variety of ways of marketing.
Like right now, the top 2 financial planners that do what this guy does ended up giving up their financial advisor, like, the certificates that they get, like CFP and all that stuff. Yeah. They handed all of them in so that they could go do this independently on TikTok, and have grown their audience exclusively through TikTok, and are now like really big in this financial education.
Right.
But they were willing to give up their licenses in order to do that. And they now make more money and help more people than they did having their licenses. This is a perfect example of someone that should be networking in their local community. Go join a networking group, not go out and blindly network with bottom of the barrel type businesses.
Right.
Find a group like
a BNI or a LaTip or a Chamber of Commerce.
Even beyond that, like, you can find networking groups. Like, I've gotten invited to a bunch of networking groups that you can't get into unless your net worth is $1 million or more.
Oh, well.
Right? Like, and you literally have to hand them financials, right? They won't let you in otherwise.
They want to know that you're a serious player.
Correct. Yeah. And there's all kinds of those types of groups out there as well, where you can find serious people, and that is marketing. Like networking is marketing. It's just a very slow, painful, one-on-one type marketing, but it is marketing, right? It is like perfect example. So my Red Knight hat, I just ordered 144 of these. Am I ever going to wear 144 hats?
Wait, before you go any further, why 144?
Because that's where the price break was. So it would have cost me the same. It would have cost me the same to order 100 as it did 144.
Oh, that's too funny.
For the price of the hat, right? So the cost of the embroidery is the same.
It is what it is, but
per
the hat,
right?
Hat price.
Correct.
Yeah. All right.
So basically, it was the same price point to order 144 as it was 100. Right?
I thought there was some crazy division by 12 or something in there.
No, they make up these arbitrary numbers that are breakpoints, right?
Right.
But every single one of my clients is going to get a shipment with 2 hats. One that's black on black, one that's black on gray, right? And just as a thank you for being a client. Yeah. The gray on red are going to be for employees only. So if you ever see anybody with a Red Knight hat that's red on the back, that means they worked for us at some point. But the reason we do that is not just because I want to say thank you, but it's also because it nurtures referrals.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Like if I can slap my logo on my landscaper's forehead and he's talking to another landscaper that goes, "What's that? Where'd you get that?" Mm-hmm. "Oh, that's our marketing company." "Well, you've been doing pretty good lately. Can I talk to them?" Right? So like people think referrals happen only organically, but you have to nurture them. You have to ask for them. Right? Like if the last meeting you have with a client is, "Hey, do you know someone else that could use this service?" If that's not the last conversation, you're doing it wrong. Right? It's that simple.
No, true. Absolutely.
And a lot of people think it's supposed to just happen organically. No, you're supposed to push the issue, so to speak. You're supposed to be asking for them. You're supposed to be emailing them every quarter going, "Hey, are you still utilizing the information that I gave to you? Yeah. Do you happen to know anybody now that," right? And people go, "Well, that's pushy." Yeah.
It's marketing.
Marketing and advertising and growing a business, someone's going to feel like you're being pushy. But if you don't, then what are you going to do? You're going to be sitting here a year from now having the exact same conversation you're having now.
Yep.
This is why I tell so many people, marketing is almost always the problem, right? Is if your business is stuck, it's a marketing problem.
Yeah.
Right? If you're not growing, it's a marketing problem. If you're shrinking, it's a marketing problem, right? If your business isn't taking off, 99% of the time, it's a marketing problem, right? Like there are so many things that come back to that, and yet people tend to ignore it, right? So we'll take my deck builder buddy, right? And I get it. When he started, he would not have had the money to hire me to do what we did initially.
Sure.
So just for shits and giggles, he asked me like, "How much would I have had to pay you to do this?" So I sent him an estimate, right? And he's like, "I would have never been able to afford this." And I'm like, "Yeah, but if you would have found a way to come up with that money initially, you would have started at this point, even though it would have cost you like 7 or 10 grand. But now you're closing on a $200,000 deck because of it."
Yep.
Right? So like you invested $10K to get a job that was $200K. Even if you wouldn't have gotten that $200K job, what if you get 6 more jobs in the next 3 months that are 200,000 or 100,000? You still only spent 10K to get 100,000.
Yeah.
And so as we were talking through the night, he goes, "So what would you say I should be spending on my marketing?" Right? And I go, "Probably between $2,000 and $3,000 a month. As a solopreneur deck builder, that's probably right around where you should fall to stay busy." Right? And he goes, "Well, that's a lot of money." And I'm like, "How many decks can you build in a month? How much revenue?" And he's like, "I can probably do $20,000 or $30,000 worth in a month." He's like, "It's not that many decks." And I'm like, "Then what does $2,000 or $3,000 matter?"
10%.
Right? You're talking $24,000 a year to make $500,000. And he goes, "Oh, Like, yeah.
But you know what? People get scared by those numbers. They don't think about that.
I know.
They, you know what they think. You know what's in their mind. Because I'm not in marketing anymore, but I saw it all the time when I was. What if it doesn't work and I just wasted all that money? They're scared because it's the unknown. Because if you said to your friend, if I had given you this and told you without question, guaranteed that you'll be where you are now, would you have done it? Well, of course I would have done it because I would guaranteed it. But it was the unknown at the time that was scary.
And like we've had campaigns that flopped. Like we've run campaigns for 3 months that didn't really yield results, right?
Yep.
Guess what we did? We went back and looked at it and said, where did it go wrong? Right? And then we relaunched the campaign. Kaboom.
No.
We made the money back, right? Yep. So it's not there's no guarantee that whatever marketing you do will work, but it's like anything else. You do it, you look at the response, you see what happens, and then you adjust it, right? Most people, most entrepreneurs will run advertising for 30 days or 60 days and go, well, this doesn't work. No, that campaign didn't work.
Yeah, right.
Right? Like that doesn't mean that marketing doesn't work. It just means what you did or how you did it didn't work. Yeah. So look at the data. Let's backtrack it and see, okay, where were we losing people, right? And that's when people say they're fine-tuning campaigns, we're really just looking at the stages, right? So let's use my deck guy, right? My deck guy comes to me and says, I want to sell more decks. Perfect. Let's run Facebook ads, just as an example. So we run Facebook ads for 90 days and he goes, I only got one deck job from it. Okay. So now we go back, we look at the data. How many people actually clicked on the ad? Did we get enough clicks to think like what we expected? Did we get 10 clicks or did we get 1,000 clicks? Mm-hmm. If we get 10 clicks, we know it's probably our art, our wording, it's the ad itself that's the problem. If we get 1,000 clicks and 1,000 people came to the website and you still only got one job, chances are it's the website, right? Yeah. If they make it to the website and fill out the form and you had 100 people fill out the form or 50 people fill out the form and you still only sold one deck,
it's a sales job, it's a sales issue, right?
Correct, right? So really when I tell people marketing is math and data, that's really what it is, right? We put something out there, we measure the results from it, we look at where in the process it needs improvement, and then we improve that, right? And I'm not saying it's always easy, like changing a message or changing a graphic is easy, but it's not, right? Because if you don't know what you're doing, you could change a graphic that makes it worse, not better, right? And that can happen to a professional too.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like you have to start pushing stuff out there. I always tell people 90% of the battle is just letting people know you exist, right?
Yes, very good point.
Right?
No, you're right. It is. That's absolutely right.
So like if you were a deck builder and you decide, I want to own this town, similar to the story I told you about my landscaper, that we just picked a micro area and we want it to look like you are the only landscaper in this town.
Yeah.
Right? So we spent a boat ton of money literally dominating a small market, but he now owns it. So you could do the same thing as a deck builder or a financial advisor or anything that is based on you talking to people one-on-one or needing a geographical location.
Yep.
Is just pick an area and own it. Run Facebook ads, run Google ads, buy the billboard, have the trucks parked outside, sponsor the golf tournaments, sponsor the Little League field, put out the lawn signs, right? Like people shouldn't be able to turn around in your town or in your geographic destination without knowing who you are.
Yeah.
If you can do that, you're already way ahead of 99.9% of businesses out there.
And formal schooling is unnecessary. It really doesn't. You're not going to learn a lot. Look, schooling is great. Schooling has its use. For running a business, formal schooling not necessary. It really isn't. So Acceptable Scholar. I know we've given you a lot of different direction, different information here, but that's also kind of what you need. At the end of the day, again, it's on you to grow your business, not somebody else to grow your business. Why is somebody else going to want to grow your business? It's your business. You need to go out there and grow it.
And this is, once again, it's a marketing problem.
Yeah.
It's networking, asking for referrals, making yourself known is going to solve your problem. School won't.
Yep. All right. So yeah, I think that's it for this week. You good? I'm good.
I'm good.
We went through a lot. We had a lot of stuff going on. Oh no, okay. Give your pitch?
Have you tried this delicious Arnold Palmer Light?
No, I haven't. Tell me about it, Gummy.
So unlike the diet, this has a more natural sugar flavor to it.
Is it?
Because it has some natural sugar.
So sugar cane?
I don't know. I'll read the ingredients for next time. Okay. But anyway, this delicious Arnold Palmer Light.
Talk to the camera. Don't talk to me.
Just hits the sweet spot every time.
Arizona T, I hope you're listening. All right. With that,
okay.
Have a great week, man.
You too.
All right. We'll talk later.